Losing sucks, we all know that, but genuinely, and I do mean this genuinely, I don't think I've ever felt better after a loss, which sounds weird because there are Hawthorn fans that think I'm too harsh on us. I'm just really proud of this group and what they just put together in a really good game of footy. Let's talk about the game in Darwin. Yes, I know it's called the first thought. I'm going to kind of put two in here because I can't help myself. The first one is, I think that's how other teams felt for 10 years going to Tassie and being like, we really have to do this. I think that was kind of the vibe tonight. That's like my not so serious one. But my actual genuine first thought is that, look, they were fantastic. Gold Coast, they were. And these are my biased Hawthorn takes. They just are. But you give me Gunston, Impey, and Meek on a non-Darwin field and not on a 5-day break, they ain't beating us again. They're just not. So, into the nitty-gritty of it. And to be honest, again, there are going to be some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like. I do, again, want to say for probably the third or fourth time so far, and what will I no doubt think will be 5 or 6 more times before this video ends. Yes, we are coming off a 5-day break. I know that. I do also know that Collingwood did the same thing, albeit against a worse opposition in Freo compared to Gold Coast. I understand that. These are just more observations rather than long-term problems, I think. So as long as you know that, don't hate me too much in the comments. The first thing, and is going to be the big complaint throughout the entire video, is we're still a midfielder short, and I still really want Zach Butters. Because, look, Jai was outstanding, but Jai is a 2, Warple is a 3. And, look, Josh Ward's second half was outstanding. Frenchie's time on ground still felt, I haven't checked, but still felt way too low because too many times he would do good things and then I wouldn't see him for 10 minutes and then he'd do 2 or 3 good things and then I wouldn't see him for 10 minutes. I want to see Frenchie more. I really do. But yeah, if we had Will Day, that would of course help. If we had Zach Butters in this team, my God. Look, I'll throw in nearly anything but my daughter when she gets here. But I'll offer him anything. He wouldn't want to live in my house, probably, on the salary that he's on, and the fact that I'm in Gippsland. But, Zach, take it. Take whatever you want. Genuinely. Please. For the love of God, please come here. It was a nightmare clearance tonight. It really was, and it's going to be moving forward. 9-4 in the first half, especially in the first quarter when, look, we were the better side for 3 quarters, just objectively on the scoreboard, and they were better in moments, no doubt. Fatigue has a big role to play in that. But 19-10 centre clearance is just, it's yuck. Look, part of it is the fact that we had a second ruckman that once the ball hits the ground, does nothing. Now, granted, he did play 2 ruckmen tonight who don't exactly kill you either when the ball is on the ground, which was probably why it was a good week to rest, I should say, Lloyd Meek. But if anyone out there, and I know that some do that are affiliated with fan groups associated with the Hawthorn Football Club, think there was a genuine battle at any point in time of Meek versus Reeves, you're wrong. Now, a couple of his hit-outs to advantage, the Ginnivan one and the Josh Ward one, were awesome. I'm not denying that. Taking 0 marks is just about unforgivable. But alas, again, he's not our number 1, so we deal with it, we move on. But the midfield was the problem. Rowell, Anderson, and Miller, I think between them had 29 clearances. That's pretty much what we had as a unit, to be honest, and Newcomb couldn't do it himself. Jimmy Warple, 6 years. This probably isn't the video to discuss that, but are we sure about that? Now, is it because we probably won't get another midfielder? That probably makes a bit of sense. But take Will Day out of the picture, which we have to do in order for this group to go as far as they can for the rest of the regular season especially, and considering that including the Gold Coast game, this game and the next 4, so that group of 5 are against every other top 6 team, because of course we're in that top 6. So this is where the men separate themselves from the boys, and he wasn't as noticeable as he should have been, was Jimmy. Again, yes, the underlying tone of it was a 5-day break, Daz. But in all honesty, outside of the midfield, it sucked that Kalsha couldn't get into the game. It was a weird game to bring him back for. I understand we did it because we rested Gunston, but in terms of conditions and in a match simulation, this was just not the day that Kalsha was going to have a great one, to be honest. Loved what Bailey McDonald did coming on a sub. Now, with ball in hand, he makes me feel awesome. Not ball in hand, He makes me feel a bit nervous, but the bounce and the delivery to Massimo was top shelf, top notch, whatever you want to call it. So that was fantastic. But in terms of complaints, it's pretty much midfield, and that's about it. Connor McDonald right now is severely out of form, and James Sicily is, oh boy. You can point out moments if you want to, but fingers crossed that Josh Battle is okay. Now let's get into the things that I liked, loved. Of course, the Wizard, the second quarter. My God, it was him versus Gold Coast for a good portion of that first half. And I really did and ah over how many MVP votes he would get. Now, I won't spoil it now. You can wait till the end of the video if you want to. Outstanding. Every time the ball was kicked to him, he just did things. It was glorious. Didn't do a whole lot in the second half, which is fine because others started to stand up. Would have liked to have seen just one or two more things, but he gassed himself in that first half. Like I said, basically single-handedly keeping us in it. My God. Loved everything that he did. Jack Ginnivan's game had over 20 disposals and kicked 2 goals. Yes, was his ball use elite? Not necessarily, but didn't need to be. Did an abundance of awesome things. Did Guinea. Love that. Jack Scrimshaw's game was bloody outstanding. Josh Ward's last 2.5 quarters. Because his first one was, I was ready to write some notes. Let's just go with that. The last 2.5 quarters, Josh Ward was outstanding. So, massive tick to that. And again, for those of you that have wanted me to be on Team Joshy Ward, and look, I'd like to say that I am, I just don't believe I will ever be at the front of the bandwagon. Number one, because I wasn't there originally, so you can't, right? But again, I'm not for any means trying to say that he's any better or worse than he is. His last 2.5 quarters, he was outstanding. But again, if we want him to propel us forward, and I'm happy to hear that conversation, and we want Frenchie to propel us forward, it does bring in the question of Warple then. But Will Day's going to have a massive factor in that, as we know. But Wardy gets the tick from me. Frenchie had his moments. As I said, Scrimshaw. Carl Amon was outstanding. He is now top 3 in the comp for an individual with meters gained in a game this year. John Noble's won tonight. Dane Zorko back in round 3, and then Amon in this game as well. So hats off to you, Carl. That was awesome. Marbior's goal. And to be honest, his hands all night were outstanding. And I would argue better than any of the Gold Coast forwards as well. Even though Josh Battle went down, Tom Barras tonight was elite on Ben King, who had, I think, 4 disposals inside 50. I know he only had 6 for the night, but he had 4 inside 50. He had 1 in the second half. And I'm not 100% sure that was even on Tommy. So to the idiots on Twitter that keep going, is he crap because he kind of has the turning circle of a truck? Watch all the games. Or watch all of the game, I should say. Blokes lost 3 one-on-ones for the entire year. What are we doing here? Come on. Seriously. But I thought he was awesome. I really do. And all he needs to do is just shoulder the common medalist, and he did. Yes, King kicked 2 goals. Do you know where he kicked them from? The 50-metre line. You just accept that. And, geez, you got to be good if you predicted Ben King for the common, let me tell you. But overall, guys, I hope this has actually sounded as positive as I wanted it to be, but I loved everything about this. For all of the obstacles that we both gave ourselves with the 4, well, restings, I suppose, Impy for the birth of his child. Congrats to you, Jarman, and shout out to Denise as well, who was a fan of mine at Talking Hawks. I hope she knows I've got this channel as well. Big fan, Denise is, and I'm a big fan of hers and her family as well. So much love to you guys. And Jars, fingers crossed, everything is going well. Fingers crossed, I should say. Everything's gone well with the birth of your first child to your absolute superstar. And hopefully we can see them in a Hawthorn jumper, whether it's AFL men's or women's. Would be pretty cool to see. But overall, there is a sense of pride right now in the way that we operated. They threw everything they had at us. We threw everything that was available at them. And we ran out of petrol tickets. It sucks. You live with it. You move on. I feel better about this game than I do any of the last 3, and we won them. So it's a weird competition, this one, but that's kind of where we're at. So what do you think, guys? Comment below. Let me know. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to join the Daz Talks Footy cohort, which is ever growing, which I'm truly appreciative of. I'm pumped for an awesome round 10. I hope you are as well. And this channel is going to be where you can get all of your updates, reviews, and snap reactions. Have a fantastic afternoon, guys. Well, rest of your weekend, I should say. Have a good one. See you over the course of the weekend. Goodbye.